Hey, it's Beryl, and welcome to the Radiant Reset podcast. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found your way to this conversation because this is where we talk about the real stuff, the messiness of midlife reinvention, the courage it takes to start over, and what it actually looks like to build a life that feels true to who you are now, not who you used to be. And if you're here, it's probably because something in you is ready to stop waiting and start creating. Today, I want to share something that I've discovered through building multiple businesses, moving countries multiple times, losing everything, and starting again. Confidence isn't something that you find, it's something you build. And when you understand how to build it, it becomes the most valuable currency that you'll ever own. Every woman reaches a point where confidence isn't just a feeling anymore. It's the bridge between who she's been and who she's becoming. And here's what I've noticed: the opportunities that change your life rarely come when you're certain. They appear when you decide to show up anyway. And if you've been waiting to feel ready enough to start something new, a business, a creative project, a complete life reinvention, I see you and I have insights that might help you to understand why waiting for confidence actually keeps it away. So let's dive in and discuss the confidence myth. Well, for years, I believed that confidence would come after success. That once I had proof, once I'd achieved something significant, then I'd finally feel confident enough to do the thing that I really wanted to do. But here's what I've learned through my own journey and through working with hundreds of midlife women. It actually works in reverse. Confidence doesn't come after success, it creates it. When you trust yourself enough to act, even when the outcome is unclear, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you're terrified, life begins to meet you halfway. And that's what confidence really is: not perfection, not certainty, not having it all figured out. Confidence is permission. Permission to start before you're ready. Permission to be imperfect and cringe. And permission to trust that whatever happens, you'll figure it out. And here's the part that changed everything for me. Confidence becomes currency when you realize that you are the investment, not your business plan, not your perfect strategy, not your flawless execution. Your willingness to trust yourself, your capacity to learn as you go, your courage to keep showing up even when it's hard. Every risk you take, every time you choose yourself, every heartbreak you survive and rebuild from, they all build the kind of self-trust that no bank can give you, no external validation can create, and no one can ever take away from you. That's the currency that I'm talking about. And it's worth more than any amount of money. Let me show you what this looked like in my own life. Well, after my son was born in Amsterdam, I felt this pull towards something I'd always wanted since I was at school, but never dared to do and never dared to try: jewelry design. I didn't know if I'd actually be good at it or not. I didn't know if anyone would buy my work. I just knew something in me was saying, try this, and this is what you really want. So I enrolled in goldsmithing classes twice a week, all taught in Dutch, which I was still learning. On the other nights, I actually took Dutch lessons while my husband cared for our baby. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, sleep deprived, covered in metal dust and nursing a baby in between classes. But I was lit up. For the first time in years, I felt like I was creating something that came straight from my own hands and heart, something that was mine, something that I really wanted to do. The pieces began to sell, small amounts at first, but enough to feel like validation, enough to think, well, maybe this actually could become something and actually work. And then, of course, came the rejection. I started approaching shops and galleries with my jewelry. Some owners were dismissive, some were outright rude. This was Holland, of course. Some acted like I was wasting their time just by walking through the door. And every rejection stung. But I kept going, and then came the hardest blow. A woman from Texas reached out to me. She was making a documentary film about European artisans, and she had somehow found out about me, and she wanted to feature my work and introduce it to the American market. Well, I was thrilled. This felt like the big break. She asked me to create a full sample range, an entire collection, all in sterling silver, so she could present it properly in the States. So I poured every bit of my savings into it, every ounce of energy, every spare moment I had. And when she left for Texas, she took my entire collection with her. And I never saw it again. She disappeared, stopped responding to calls and emails, just gone, along with everything that I'd invested. I tried to fight it legally, but the cost of pursuing her across international borders outweighed any hope of getting my work back. And I cried so many tears, I thought I'd never recover. I questioned everything. Was I stupid? Was I an idiot for trusting her? Was this a sign that I wasn't meant to do this? But after a while, after the grief and the anger and the feeling of complete failure wore off, something inside me whispered, start again. So I did. I built a new collection from nothing. I moved countries in that time as well, again. I set up my business once more, and eventually I built a thriving jewelry brand without a single loan or investor. It wasn't linear, it wasn't easy, and there were moments I wanted to quit. But here's what I discovered. I trusted myself to figure it out. And that self-trust, that became my currency. Not the money I lost, not the perfect plan that I didn't actually have, not the confidence I thought I needed before I started. Just the willingness to trust that whatever happened, I'd handle it. That's how I've created everything since. The jewelry business, my books, this podcast, my YouTube channel, the Radiant Reset, my courses, every single thing came from that same decision to act before I felt ready enough and actually knew what I was actually going to do. Because here's the truth, you will never feel ready enough. That's not how confidence works. Confidence doesn't mean knowing how things will turn out. It means believing that whatever happens, you'll handle it. So what does it mean when I say confidence becomes currency? I'm not just talking about business or income, though those can certainly be a part of it. I'm talking about the way that life responds to you when you show up in self-trust. Here's what I've noticed, both in my own life and in the women I work with. Opportunities recognize you faster. When you stop hiding, when you stop waiting for permission, when you start putting yourself out there, even imperfectly, even in that cringe moment, opportunities start appearing. Not because you're suddenly worthy, but because you're visible. You're in the arena. Doors open. The right people, the right resources, the right timing, they start aligning. Not magically, but because you're taking action, and action creates momentum. Momentum creates visibility, and visibility creates opportunity. Support appears. When you trust yourself, others start trusting you too. They sense your energy and your enthusiasm. They want to be a part of what you're building. Collaborations happen, referrals come, help shows up in unexpected ways. Your energy shifts. This is the big one. When you're no longer operating from scarcity, from I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I don't know how, I don't know what I'm actually going to do, you start operating from possibility. And possibility is magnetic. People feel it, clients feel it, audiences feel it. Confidence isn't just mindset work, it's movement. It grows every time you take action aligned with who you are now. And the more you move, the more currency you build. Not just financial currency, though that can absolutely increase, but the currency of self-trust, the currency of resilience, the currency of knowing that no matter what happens, you can rebuild and you can handle it. That's the currency that changes everything. If you're listening to this and thinking, I have ideas, but I don't know where to start, or I want to do something meaningful, but I'm scared I'll fail, or I want to reinvent myself, but what if I'm too old? What if it doesn't work? I see you, I've been you, and here's what I want to offer you. You don't have to figure it all out alone. That's why I've created the Midlife Reinvention Roadmap, which is a self-paced program designed to help you move from uncertainty to clarity, step by step in just 90 days. It actually takes a weekend to work through the course, but 90 days to create your plan. It's not about pushing you to do more or to be more. It's about helping you to recognize what's already alive in you and giving you a clear path to bring it to life. Because confidence isn't built in isolation. It's built through small, aligned actions. And sometimes you just need someone to show you which actions to take first. So inside the roadmap, we work through identifying what actually lights you up, not what you think should, and clearing the blocks that keep you stuck in waiting mode, and creating a practical plan that works with your energy, not against it. And also building momentum through action, even when you don't feel ready. And if you're not quite ready for the program, I have a free midlife confidence code that you can download right now. It's a powerful tool to help you start recognizing the patterns that keep you playing small and how to shift them. All links are in the show notes. Here's what I know. You don't have to feel confident to start. You build confidence by starting. You don't have to know the whole plan. Just take the next true step. And every time you take that step, even when it's scary, even when it's imperfect, you're building currency, the kind that no one can take away from you. Here's what I want to leave you with today, not as directives, but as invitations, questions to sit with, especially if you're in an emotional wave right now and need to wait for clarity. Where in my life am I still hiding my light? Maybe it's a creative project that you've been putting off, or maybe it's a business idea that you've been sitting on for years, or maybe it's a way of showing up that feels more true to who you are now, but you're actually scared of what people will think. Or what would it feel like to stop waiting for confidence and start building it through action? Just imagine it for a moment. What if you didn't wait until you felt ready enough? What if you just started? What would be the first small step that you could take? Where on earth does my energy feel most alive right now, and how can I follow it? This is key for anyone tuning into their own energy. Your aliveness is your compass. When you feel that spark, that pull towards something, that's your invitation. Trust it. Your most radiant chapter begins the moment that you stop doubting your worth and start trusting your direction. You're not starting over, you're starting truer. And that's where all real success begins. So thank you so much for being here today. If you're listening, it means something in you is already shifting. So honor that. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with another woman who needs to hear this. You never know whose life you'll touch just by passing it on. Download the free midlife confidence code below. The link is in the show notes. As I said, it's a powerful starting point if you're ready to shift out of waiting and just take action. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out the Midlife Reinvention Roadmap. It's where we turn this insight into actual movement. Join me on Instagram at The Radiant Reset. I'm building a community of women who refuse to fade away and are choosing to create their most radiant chapter yet. And if you loved this episode, leave a quick review. It helps other women find the Radiant Reset and join our community of Radiant Rebels. So subscribe if you haven't yet and hit the like button, because we're going to keep having these kinds of conversations, the real ones that help you trust yourself again. Remember, your most radiant chapter is waiting for you. Give yourself permission to begin. And I'll see you next week on the Radiant Reset. Until then, stay radiant, stay true, and keep shining your light.